Hello, my name is Angelica Haas, and I'm a Syracuse University student who spent my scholastic year at the University of Florence through Syracuse University's abroad program. I decided to study this year at the University of Florence because I'd already been to Florence in the past and I really fell in love with the Italian language. And I really wanted to have an experience different from the normal study abroad, which is also a great experience, but I wanted to kind of break out of being with Americans all the time and just have a chance to be with the Italians and see really what young Florence was like. First semester, I studied history of the Italian language and contemporary history, and second semester, I studied Italian linguistics, Italian literature, and moral philosophy. The first 2 weeks I was really nervous because it was completely in Italian. All the classes and the professors talked fairly fast and it was kind of intimidating, but it's not really a need to worry because after time you automatically habituate to it and you learn, and I really improved my Italian understanding of the spoken language so much during this semester. And we also have tutors that will help us along every step of the journey. So if you're scared at first, there's no problem because anything that you miss in class or don't understand in the text, your tutor will help you understand your private lessons. I would recommend this program to any student who's, if you're not majoring in Italian or minoring in it, if you even have any interest in the culture and the language, it is a great undergrad opportunity because you really get to see a different side of the Florentine life that I had missed the first time I was here studying abroad only with my American campus. And it's crucial for improving your language abilities and for meeting people. I met so many friends and they really helped me along the way as well. During finals week, I would study in the facoltà with my Italian friends, and I learned a lot like this because they have a lot of information that I didn't have. They had understanding of the text that I didn't have, and it really helped to have these relationships with them who were always available to help me out and wanted to be, friendly. They were very nice people. One difficulty is the fact that the American and the Italian systems are so different because in America you have your homework and you stay on track all semester, but here it's a little more difficult because you have your text to read, but then you have only your exam at the end, and a lot of pressure is put on this one exam. But again, for this, the tutors help you very much to stay on track throughout the semester. What I'm going to bring home from this experience, other than my general improvements in language and of having met new people, is just having a completely different experience that I feel like a lot of Americans don't get to do when they're abroad. And also, I have a really big feeling of accomplishment because at the beginning it was very, very hard, but now I can proudly say that I spent a whole entire year at a university in a foreign country, in their language, in their system, and I survived, and I did it well. And I'm very proud. Yes, because of Syracuse's cultural agreement with University of Florence, they do an introduction, and at a certain point I talked with the professor and also with the tutor at the same time. We kind of all communicate together to plan my semester. It's not, it's not like they leave me alone. I'm very guided. Yes. If you're worried at all about feeling lost or having it be too difficult, don't even think about it because the agreement that Syracuse has with University of Florence is really useful to help you communicate both with the professor through your tutor, and also the American school coordinator will help you with everything that you need. So even if the majority of the work is going to be on you, the studying of course, but you're not ever going to be left without an idea of what you have to do. People will always be there to help you. And the problems that do arise aren't difficult to overcome, especially with the help of your tutors and your professors. I would say to a group of students with an Italian language background, which is 4 semesters or more, that this experience is probably the closest you're going to get to a real study abroad in Italy, especially a city like Florence, which is absolutely gorgeous, but there are a ton of tourists, so this puts you in contact with a completely other side that is difficult to find without this connection through the University of Florence. The tutors that will help you, and like they helped me through this program, are young scholars who already have their masters in the material they're going to be helping you with. It's not like grad students like we have in America, and they're really crucial as well because they'll meet with you for 2 hours a week outside of your class. And so everything you learned in class, anything you didn't understand in class, they clarify for you there on the spot. Whatever questions you have, they're going to answer you. If they don't have a direct answer, they will research it for you. They're always at your availability to help you, email, phone call, and they're really helpful to keep you on track throughout the semester and to really make your knowledge more profound. Because even I have friends, University of Florence, who are Italian and take the course, but what they take from lessons is what's taught at lessons, but sometimes what I take from my tutors is even more than that, because they have such a vast knowledge of the material and they're so willing to share it with you. After a whole year here at University of Florence, I'm really going to miss it. Even if it was difficult at first, I got through it all and I learned to really love the way they study here, and I feel like I learned a lot. I do feel that going back to America, probably studying will be a lot easier because I studied so much for these exams and I had to do it in such a different way that now when I go back home, studying for classes at Syracuse will probably be a lot more simple than it was here. But I am really going to be sad to leave the University of Florence and all my friends behind. A big difference between the University of Florence and American University is that all the exams are oral exams. So that's intimidating at first, especially if you think, you're going to get tongue-tied in speaking Italian, which still happens to me sometimes. But it is, to be honest, it is kind of scary, but they're very nice. The professors are very understanding of the language barrier, and they start out the conversation, and you can kind of get into it. And once you're really into the conversation about what you're talking about for the exam, it just becomes easy, and it's like it's not so scary like you're talking to a professor, you're just having a conversation. So I felt, but it was a big difference. The City of Florence I really love as well, and I feel like I know it even more now that I've taken my University of Florence classes, because the academic buildings are kind of scattered around the city. So the first couple of weeks was kind of like a wild chase to find my classes and be there on time. But that's also what's really unique about it, is you're not in the same classroom, you're not in the same building all the time, you're kind of all around. You get to kind of adventure and find your classes, and you meet a lot of friends along the way. Like you have your friends that you walk to this class with, and then you go out and eat with them afterwards, and it's a really great way to know people. And I feel like once I met my friends at the University of Florence, the city expanded even more because they've been here for so much time and they know so much more about the city than what I had known coming into it. So I really got to see Florence for what it is from the eyes of an Italian student. Aside from my option 1 friends that I had from my 1 American class here, I also had my option 2 friends who are a great medium because they study Italian at an advanced level at the language department of University of Florence. And so they kind of give you a taste of both sides. You have your American friends, the comfort of being at home, but they also like to kind of be with the Italians, kind of try out a new thing. So it was great meeting all these different people. Okay, so that's a little bit of my experience of my year in Florence, and I really hope that for anybody else who has the interest in Italian that I had, that they would try it as well. It can only make you grow as a person and make your knowledge of the Italian language that much better. So I really hope that this message is getting through to everybody. I would love to see more people participate in this program. For me, it was an absolutely amazing experience, and I would do it again in a second. So hopefully, see you all in Florence. Ciao!